the train and the platform.
Cultura inglesa.
Radio.
Hello there, welcome back to another podcast by Cultura Inglesa. This is Alex, and on this show we're discussing how the English spoken by different nationalities sound to a native speaker and what are the main features of each one of them. And rest assured, we're not going to make fun of anyone. This is thoroughly educational.
They left it, they write it, and they made you from behind.
So my guest today is Mr. Rob Willis. How are you doing, man?
I'm strong, how are you?
I'm cool, thank you. Tell us briefly where you're from and what you do.
My name's Rob Willis. I come from Norfolk in the east of England. The main city there is Norwich. I work as a music producer and songwriter for a lot of acts, also in Europe. I work for a lot of German rappers as well.
Great, so we should start with the Germans.
The Germans?
Yeah. I'm going to play a clip here that depicts how a typical German would speak English. Of course, it's an exaggeration, but it's good fun. And it's a TV ad. It shows a Coast Guard office from Germany receiving a cry for help from a boat or ship that's in trouble in the sea.
Mayday, mayday. Hello, can you hear us? We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello, this is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?
So what does that tell us? Why is it so funny?
The funny thing, of course, about that clip is the case of misinterpretation by the man working in the Coast Guard office. He is yet to realise that the man is not saying sinking, as in a boat sinking. He thinks that he's saying thinking. It's a problem the Germans have, and actually I find a lot of nationalities have, is with the sound th. These things said with the tongue between the teeth. Th.
The TH, right?
Thinking, or the as well, which is a softer version. A German would often say that as the, like the Germans. They would say my name is a big problem for them. They would say my name is Robert Douglas Willis. Ours they say in a different part of their mouth to us. A German would say the R at the very back of the mouth, Robert, and a British person would say Robert.
So instead of Robert Willis, it's Robert Willis.
Robert Willis, and instead of Willis, they would say Willis.
Okay.
Similarly, you can see if they say trees or trees.
Moving on to the French. They're quite
our natural enemies.
The Germans as well, right?
No, the Germans are our natural enemies against the French.
Okay.
But things kind of went wrong.
So, French is very iconic when they speak English, right?
It is quite sexy, you know. We all like the French. We all like the French accent in whatever language.
Just repeat after me. Je m'appelle Claude.
Je découpe plow.
It's a similar problem, actually, they have to the Germans. Like I say, I think many nationalities have this. It's, again, the. They would say z. It's a softer version of German, I guess. Another thing they have is they sometimes pronounce too many letters in a word, which might be the fault of the English language rather than their pronunciation. For instance, the plural clothes. I'm wearing my clothes. A French person would say clothes.
You notice it in the sound as well. Pay attention and apply this to your French or your accent.
French people are otherwise pretty good.
Great. So moving on to the Italians. What happens to the English that the Italians speak?
Italians, you can always tell an Italian. They seem to put an extra syllable at the end of every single word.
Like?
Well, it's the letter E. It's like there's always an extra letter E at the end of every sentence with a particular rhythm which matches the Italian sentence and rhythm.
It's most important in Italiano to feel every sound. Put all your energy, your juice, your body into every vowel, every consonant.
It's again quite endearing.
So it sounds nice to you, although
yeah, I'd say most foreign anything exotic anything a bit special does sound nice to English ears.
And how special is the Spanish English? Actually, how can you tell that someone is from Spain when they speak English?
Yeah, Spanish have the opposite problem to the Italians. They don't put an E at the end of the word, they put an E at the beginning of the word. They say that they are from Spain, and they speak Spanish, and they want some sugar.
Okay, let's try an example here. This is Penelope Cruz.
Is it easier to act in Spanish than in English?
It will always be easier for me to act in my first language, but now I'm getting to enjoy it more and more when I work on another language, especially with English, because I've spent a lot of years studying, and as you can see, I still have an accent, but I can have a conversation, I can be more fluent.
Now, the Brazilians.
Our favorites.
This is Gisele Bündchen.
Well, they all come from, Portuguese and Spanish and Italian, all that all comes from Latin, so it kind of... Yeah, it depends on how fast you speak.
Of course, present company accepted. Having met a few Brazilians, there are a few things I picked up, particularly from this girl, a few things which I guess must come from Portuguese. There is a big problem with anything which ends with the letters ed. I looked you in the eye.
Annoyed.
Yeah, in this case she would say the word annoyed. However, one does have to be a little bit careful. I know one lady, a Brazilian lady who told me that something was crooked. However, in that case, you would pronounce the ed.
Oh, right.
That's
okay.
Crooked. It looks crooked on the wall. There.
Meaning?
Not straight.
Okay.
So a picture hanging on the wall might be crooked.
Okay. It's a bit tilted.
A bit tilted, uneven, not in...
Tilted is another one that you pronounce the E.
Tilted, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What the rule is, I don't think there is a rule. I think you just have to learn it.
And another word that you mentioned before is building.
Yeah, this is a word that defeats even the best English speakers from Brazil. I don't know why. Maybe the the combination of sounds in it seems to defeat people who are otherwise perfect in English. I hear building, I hear building, but not building.
Building.
Very good.
Thank you.
Learn from the best.
Okay, last but not least, let's talk about the South Asian accent. It comprises the Indian, Bengali, Pakistani communities, among others, and they're very big in the UK. So I'm going to play a clip here that illustrates the way they speak English. It's very iconic as well. I'm going to play a snippet from a YouTube clip. It's a clip that went viral on YouTube in England. It shows a fishmonger selling his £1 fish in a market in London.
Come on ladies, today fish £1 each, £1 each, £1 each. Very good and very cheap, very good and very cheap. £1 fish, £1 fish.
The few things you could pick out in it. For instance, the number 1, they put a V in front of it. They say one, very very good, £1 fish, very very cheap, £1 fish. Very, they make the. I don't know how I can describe it. Can you hear the difference? Very, very.
Yeah, the R's.
The R is different.
Yeah.
Very.
£1 fish would be £1 fish.
It's a £1 fish.
It's a fish that costs £1.
Yeah, that's what made him famous. The guy was a fish seller in London and was caught on camera doing this song, and then got signed by Warner Brothers. That's the state of the music industry. I think it was Warner Brothers, but it was on the television and stuff.
And this is what happened.
Come on ladies, £1 fish. Have a look, £1 fish. Have a look, £1 fish. Very very good, £1 fish. Very very cheap.
And speaking about £1 fish, you were telling me before. This is the last question I want to ask you. You were telling me before that people normally tend to get it wrong, the number 1.
It's often mispronounced by many people, including the English, including the Americans, including everyone. It's often said as 1, not 1. Do you hear the difference? 1,
yeah,
1.
The first one is the number?
No, the first one is spelled 1, spelled W-A-N,
okay,
and it means pale.
Like your skin is pale.
So if you had, I don't know, you'd not eaten enough, it was a hot day, you would go 1, and I would worry about you.
Okay.
Say you want to count, you'd start with the number 1. You need to pronounce it like bun. 1.
Okay. Bun like the bread.
Yeah,
B-U-N.
like the bread. B-U-N. Pronounce it like W-U-N, and then you'll pronounce it right. So 1, the number, 1, pail.
Okay. So the number is more open, can you say that?
I guess. 1, 1, 1, 1. Yeah, it does feel more open.
Okay.
But in the grand scheme of things, no one cares.
Great. And with that sentence, we can end our podcast today. Thanks, man. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
And we're ending with a Swedish band, because the Swedes, they speak perfect English. And ABBA, interestingly, is the only non-native English-speaking band among the top 20 best-selling acts of all time. So there you go, ABBA. Stay tuned, and thanks for listening. Cheers!